Hello, everybody. Welcome to Spotlight, a podcast that looks to highlight music, art, and creativity from artists on the left. We are going to play you some tracks today and give you our thoughts before sharing information on where you can find more of their stuff so you can give them your money, time, and attention. Now, first up, let's talk about who we are. I am Steve. My pronouns are he, him, and I have a YouTube channel called Inside Left. I used to be in an industrial rock band called Ghost and the Static, and for a small time ran an industrial music label called Static Distortion Records. My tastes tend towards rock, metal, industrial, and synthwave, though I have been known to wander into country, folk, and pop when the song is good enough. Next up, we have Carolyn.
Hi, my name is Carolyn, and my pronouns are they and she. By day, I manage a team of admin assistants in a law firm, but the rest of the time, I can usually be found with a ball of yarn in close vicinity. Knitting and crochet are my preferred creative outlets, but I also sew and cross stitch. In my younger years, I was in a folk band in a village where I lived near where I lived in mid Wales. I played a couple of instruments well enough to get by, but singing was my real forte in the band. I listen to most music, but my favourites are folk metal, and rock in general. Jack, tell us a bit about yourself.
Hi, my name's Jack. My pronouns are he, him, and in my spare time, I'm a musician and I record music under the name Advent Song, electronic music. But over the years, I've been in various different bands playing rock and metal and all sorts. My first love is metal, but I listen to it with everything these days. A lot of electronic music and just anything really, which I know sounds a bit cliche, but it's the truth. And yeah, that's me.
So the first song that we have is called The Tide by Creep Crawly. This is the song about having serious conversations while walking along a beach, about nearly getting stuck out on a sandbank off the North Norfolk coast, and about the seals that hang out on Horsey Beach. So I really like the imagery in the lyrics. It does feel very kind of it's very chill and nice to sort of sit and listen to. It's not like a dancey tune or something like that. I quite like having different kind of vibes to listen to, and I really like this sort of chill vibe that it's got. The vocals are really, really lovely as well. Like the tone is like soft and gentle. I feel like I like songs that don't kind of attack my ears all the time. And I like how it starts quite simply and then kind of swells up to a lot more complexity. Like there's a lot more instruments and things that come into the tune as it goes.
Yeah, I really, really love this track. Creepy Crawly, she's the sort of artist you wonder where she's been all this time. I think the production's really good. It sounds like a very professional track, but the song itself is just really well put together. Like you said, the vocals are lovely. It's got gorgeous dramatic chords, lovely lyrics, a really hooky chorus, great melodies, and yeah, I really love it. And it's she released her album earlier in the year. This is kind of like a later single that's come out for it. And yeah, I'd strongly recommend everyone checks out the album because she's very, very good. She supported an artist called Rachel Somani recently, who's a Scottish, I think, kind of folky singer. And there's a bit of, I think that kind of makes sense. Like there's a bit of overlap in the sounds there. So
yeah, I was just going to add, like, agree with everything you guys have said. You know, it's a really enjoyable, easy to listen to song. I enjoyed the narrative styling of the song. I like songs that take you on a journey. I liked the coastal themes. I think they really supported the sort of contradictory dynamic of the song, singing about a relationship, what was good, what was bad. It all just works in a really nice, impactful way that, yeah, you can enjoy on a musical level and a lyrical level. And there's not that many songs you can say that about, I find, you know, it genuinely entertains on both levels. So, yeah, really top tune. And we will put a link to that release in the show notes for this episode.
yeah, so this is a track called Some Neon Shore by a producer called Sunbane. This is taken from the Wales Electronic Producers Network's compilation called Product 006 Solace. And yeah, see what you think. Yeah, so that Sunbane, like full disclosure, one of my favourite producers anyway. So when I saw that there was a new track of his out on this compilation, I was immediately interested. All the proceeds from the compilation were to support Children's Hospice in Cardiff, the network as a whole. So it's shortened to WEAPON, but stands for Wales Electronic Producers Network. Do some great things sort of along those lines, as you can tell from the compilation name. They've done a few of these compilations now, lots of great artists on them, and definitely worth checking out all of them. Sunbane specifically, I love his stuff. He's released some great albums over the years. This track in particular is a little bit more chill maybe than some of his other stuff. I think I've seen his work described as post-apocalyptic rave, which I quite like. And this one, I just like how it builds up slowly. It's got big, expansive lo-fi chords. Again, lovely melodies. Gradually becomes like a little bit more unhinged as it reaches the climax, but nothing too over the top. Just very gentle and sort of spaced out. And yeah, big fan. What did you think, Steve?
To avoid echoing much of what you said, which I agree with, I really enjoyed the fact that there was a very clever balance between kind of chaos, dissonance, and still maintaining a kind of a relaxing vibe, if you know what I mean. You can kind of enjoy it without having to really get into the nitty gritty that some towards the more industrial end of electronic experimental music kind of gets to that point where you have to really concentrate to be able to like pull out the details, whereas this one has got a nice flow to it. It just kind of pulses along and you're able to go along on the journey and enjoy all of the different elements that are put in there without it ever becoming work. You know what I mean? It's a really enjoyable journey. I think there is a real art to this kind of experimental, but what's the word I'm looking for? I guess just tuneful music, where it's constantly evolving, constantly adding and taking away without losing your interest. And I think that's a real boon to this track. Like, it's really well put together, and yeah, can't recommend it highly enough. How about you, Carolyn?
I really like this track. It's not the kind of stuff that I would normally listen to, and I probably wouldn't have come across it on my own, because I do tend to listen to a lot of the same music. I find things I like and keep listening to them, but it gave me a proper sort of sci-fi vibe. Like, I could see it being used in like Doctor Who or something like that. And it's kind of the imagery it gave me was of like an alien trying to communicate, but its language isn't quite the same way that our human language works, and it's not able to communicate fully, and it's kind of like it gets more, like you said, Jack, it kind of gets unhinged. It's like it's the frustration of not being able to communicate properly with someone, and like in like sort of from a sort of sound production perspective, I really like it when tracks use the left and right channels, because it makes the music feel like it's moving around. Like, if you close your eyes, you can kind of visualize where it is around you, and I really like it when music does that rather than just being the same on both left and right. It's, you know, it I like the way that feels when you're kind of listening to it and blocking everything else out.
So yeah, if you enjoyed the track, if you want to check it out, we'll put a link to it in the show notes.
Last up, we have One Voice by Sneakernet. So, Sneakernet is my friend Zachary Valdo. So I'll admit that up front right now. I am slightly biased. Sneakernet are based out of Atlanta, and it's a project based on thematic music and experimentation. It comes to us from the mind of author, musician, and tabletop RPG streamer Zachary Valdo. Sneakernet taps into sort of comic books, cyberpunk, and into electro-industrial dissonance in order to, as Zachary himself puts it, create theme songs for streaming games, shows, and your own ears. So, Sneakernet. In terms of the track itself, One Voice, I think for me it kind of harkens back to the sort of the best of Skinny Puppy and Ministry, that sort of driving, distorted, lovingly crafted noise. You know, it's always pushing forward. It's always moving on. It's got the political message behind it. It's got the distorted vocals. So, I mean, yeah, Ministry is definitely a touchstone, I think, for this sort of music. I enjoyed the sort of political thread to the lyrics, the one voice for the people, one voice they want to control. That's a really strong message, especially coming out of the USA at the moment. And although it's quite busy musically, I think that it's similarly to Sunbane, it's well put together and you don't lose anything. It never becomes uncontrolled. It always stays just the right side of noisy. And yeah, I very much enjoy it. I think it's got that late 90s Hollywood movie goth club scene from a movie kind of vibe to it. And yeah, I enjoy a lot of what Zachary does.
So when I first listened to this track, my first thought was, this is what cyberpunk wishes it was. And like you said, Steve, about the kind of like the 90s goth club scenes, like very much like underground raves, could have been something in the Matrix potentially if it had been around back then. Or like a boss fight track in an indie game or something. And what struck me as well is that the voice very much for me was reminiscent of like the Borg's voice in Star Trek, where it's many voices speaking as one voice, which makes sense with the title of the track. But like that was quite nostalgic for me. I've always watched Star Trek literally since I was probably born. I've been watching Star Trek, so it was quite nice to hear that. And yeah, I again, it's not the kind of music I would normally gravitate towards on my own, but I really enjoyed listening to this, and I've listened to it several times over, in fact.
For me, like industrial music is kind of a bit of a blank spot for me. I've never gone. There's a lot of stuff I like adjacent to it, and somehow I've skirted around the edges, even though I know it's something I'll really like if I get into it. So this, I did really enjoy it. It goes really, really hard. I like the big beats. I like the kind of demonic industrial melodies. I thought it sounded great. It actually reminded me more of kind of 80s post-punk. Obviously not necessarily sounding exactly the same, but maybe it was in the voice. A lot of it kind of made me think of Sisters of Mercy, Killing Joke, and kind of that sort of stuff. There was actually, it also made me think of a very recent Napalm Death track, which isn't like much like their older stuff, but it's called Logic Ravaged by Brute Force, which is a very Napalm Deathy song title. But there was a little bit in there, something reminded me of that, which I really enjoyed. I also thought it was funny how in the We Create Together, the recent what do we call it? Not the competition.
The challenge.
The challenge, that's it. Was about protest, and this seemed very kind of just fortuitous timing, very on the money there. So I was in a very kind of protest heavy mood for the past month, and yeah, enjoyed it a lot.
So if you want to find this track, all the details and links will be in the show notes. So We Create Together is a place for left-leaning creators to come together, share ideas, collaborate and support each other. Whether you're a writer, painter, sketch artist, comedian, songwriter, photographer, or any other creative medium, we believe that left art should be celebrated and amplified. So if you would like to join us on our Discord, you can message us on Blue Sky at recreatetogether.bluesky.social for an invite, or there should be a link again in the show notes below.
And if you are an artist and you'd like to submit your tracks to this show, then instructions on how to do that will also be in the show notes. They'll be on the We Create Together Blue Sky account, I assume, and there'll be a nice little form for you to fill in with all the information we need. And we'd very much like to hear your stuff, so please do send your stuff in.
Thank you, everybody, for taking your time to join us on this first ever episode and for having the inclination and desire to find new grassroots music with us. I hope you'll join us again on our next episode as we continue to explore and discover the best music from artists of the left. Take care and be kind, comrades. We will see you soon.
Truth is, I thought it mattered. I thought that music mattered. But does it bollocks? Not compared to how people matter.